and welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hanford and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts. We not only review Monday Night Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamlet and Sidgwick to review Raw, the go-home show ahead of Survivor Series. We'll go.
Yeah, WWE probably knew the pressure was on to deliver a good go-home show ahead of the What Culture live show tonight, before the eyes of the wrestling world switched to Newcastle, England. And I did a pretty effective job, I thought, like almost surprisingly so. I was probably the most cynical about Raw in yesterday's preview than I've been in a while, in terms of the fact there was nothing really left to do for Survivor Series beyond the obvious reveal of Randy Orton, which we got in, again, quite an effective way. I was genuinely impressed with the match quality on here. A minor miracle, and also a crushing disappointment. So lots to get to.
Yeah, this was wrong way around. Lots of the stuff I expected to be bobbins was actually really good.
Yeah.
A match I did not expect to be remotely interested in got heated up inexplicably, and there was some stuff on there that I thought was rubbish by the main players. So, interesting.
Let's get into it, because
Most interested I've been in Raw all year.
the show opened, as promised, with Drew McIntyre stood in the ring, obviously off the back of his betrayal of Jey Uso last week. Said he knew people were upset about what he did, but the person who was most upset was him. He was called a backstabber, but he hasn't changed. He hasn't lied. If you've turned on him, fine. You're never a fan in the first place. He gave Jey Uso something Jey never gave him. He looked him right in the eye before he dropped his ass. Jay's probably looking for an apology, he said, but I don't remember hearing Jey apologizing to me or anyone else for screwing over my family. And the crowd are chanting, "You suck." He said, look, Cody Rhodes collateral damage, but then again, he's also responsible for bringing Jey to Monday Night Raw. He saw Rhodes attack Jimmy and Solo Sikoa on SmackDown. People telling him to get over it too, but there's no reason to get over the bloodline. Jey cost him the biggest thing of all. His family waited 16 years. He talked about all the things that he'd missed, and they were going to be there and watch him win the title at Clash at the Castle. But Jey took that away from him, took that moment away from him and his family. But to clarify, he asked the crowd this and then said, no, you see, you don't know me. I haven't joined Judgment Day, but I will be on their team for War Games because Rhea Ripley provided me something no one else could, Jey Uso in a cage. Out comes Jey Uso. Jey says, no more talking. It's time for a beatdown, or more likely, yeet down. And he eats incredibly over, so that actually got a pop. He goes to hit the ring, but here's the Judgment Day on one side of the ring to show that he's just completely outnumbered. That brings out Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes, but Wade on commentary notes still not got a man, or the man down, I should say. And Postman Pearce suddenly jumps in and says, we're not doing this again, Christ's sake. Anyone who throws a punch is going to cost their team the advantage at War Games. He said, look, Seth or Cody or whoever, babyface team, you need to pick a partner by the end of tonight. And the War Games advantage match is going to be one-on-one or else. And I need to know who's representing who by 9 p.m. tonight. It looked like McIntyre sort of stepped up, but that wasn't decided. Got in Jay's face, but then he left, and Judgment Day sort of followed him. I like this opening.
Yeah, Drew's promo was good. Tell a good story, you get good material. Like Drew McIntyre was doing what we said he was going to do pretty much, and just laid out why everything that happened the way it did, and even said, I was telling you I was going to do this on the way. I haven't betrayed what I've been saying for months. That's what happens. I know it's unfashionable, and I get probably earn some pelters for liking my dry plotting, but these are the outcomes you get off it sometimes when you're fairly tight in on a character's motivations and logic. And I'm into, it's hanging a lampshade on the fact that WWE have done this too much forever. But like the second week in a row of Adam Pearce just going, enough. Like the pay-per-view is this Saturday. Can we just do this then? WWE are kind of doing exactly what Tony Khan is doing with the Continental Classic. Like, promise you, no interference, clean finishes. It is a damning indictment that you've got yourself into the position where you basically have to say it out loud, but better to do it. Like, clean up the mess feels like the theme of wrestling lately, but like better to do it anyway, especially when you're days away from the double cage big brawl. Just save it. And I don't mind this of all times, an authority figure coming out and just saying, enough, it's going to be this. See you later, guys. Like, I was into most of this.
It was exactly what we said it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like as I said, rather cynically, but justifiably on the preview yesterday, the way that WWE dialogue is written, with a pretty heavy-handed approach, is that Drew McIntyre could not have made himself more explicit in what he wanted to do and how he felt over the past, month and a half, 2 months. So he didn't have to explain his actions because he had, in fact, past tense, already explained his actions as he was doing the actions. So, yeah, waste of time, but it was a waste of time. They didn't tell me anything I already knew.
Yeah.
They didn't advance the plot in any meaningful way. It was just the things that WWE do on their television, and I have to endure that.
They believe these things need to be two-parters, don't they?
Yeah.
I think it's one of them things where you either like it.
Bookend the show. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of the Drew stuff, you can't.
I see. Yeah,
typically, you can't just have the physical attack. You then have to have the promo, otherwise the whole thing isn't complete. Probably is. Like fans can probably infer everything they need to from the turn, but just that's not
There's no inference.
WWE's way of doing it, is
Yeah.
it? It's like
There's no inference. He's told them.
Maybe they got excited off the back of Santos's excellent explanation on
well, that's it. Yeah,
SmackDown.
I think there's been like
That was better.
two good examples of a thing that. Like, I know Sige doesn't like, and I know plenty of other people explicitly don't like WWE for that reason, but I don't know, they just do
It's
it.
a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm being a dickhead. I thought Santos is better. Had a more memorable line. I remember what he said about the
Jeez.
leg
Yeah.
than anything that Drew said.
He's cooler as well, isn't he, as well?
He's
cooler
an
than
absolute
Drew, so-
piece as well. Then again, Drew's a piece.
Yeah.
What a pieces in wrestling these days.
Yeah.
And are very attractive men.
You know.
Judgment Day meet up backstage. Damian Priest is like, really would like to had you consult me, considering I'm meant to be the captain of the Survivor Series team if Drew was going to join. And she said, to be honest, I didn't know he was going to do it until literally the last second before he did. If I had, we would have discussed it first. And Priest said, I think I should probably be in the advantage match. And Rhea's like, well, let's wait till Drew gets here, shall we?
Quick word on this. I've never really spoke about this before on the podcast. I'm a pretty big Judgment Day guy. Where I never want to attend, ever, no matter how much I like this act, is that stupid Judgment Day Gallus bar they've set up, like the Shayna and Zoe ended up in later on.
Not the
The clubhouse?
Clubhouse.
The Playhouse. You want to go to the Judgment Day's nursery? The frigging Sean and Triple H love this, don't they?
Like the flags in the background of the promo
banners
segment.
and the dartboard. And
Job done.
Just love the idea.
It has
of
to
these,
travel.
It has to travel, so they have to every week. But I'll put a flag up.
yeah. Where are we hanging the dartboard this week, lads? Well, there's some production crates over there.
Are we getting a dartboard tonight? For our,
That would be a
for our
stupid
little
idea.
green room?
Yeah, we don't want a live show to look like a Judgment Day clubhouse.
Chilling out backstage with all of our rider.
Dartboard in the green room, but it's purple.
What's on the rider?
I think just crisps.
Just need to keep him hopped up on Skittles. Just Skittles. Skittles
Doesn't
and
you
Frost.
don't need to keep me hopped up on anything. It's like that in The Simpsons, when the bloke with the sea captain, he tosses that kid with
The accordion.
accordion. Yeah. Oh God, you've given him Skittles. He didn't need that.
He'll be doing this for hours.
That's it. Yeah.
And he's been doing it for 6 years at this point.
All for the build-up of tonight. I can have like a week-long sleep after this. He's all took it out.
Probably. Right, that was followed by Nia Jax versus Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh my god.
Yep. Yeah.
It's great. Rodriguez obviously pissed off with Nia's actions recently. She immediately tackles her out of the ring, hits a crossbody off the apron, but Jax comes back, shoves her into the barricade, sends her into the post spine first to take us to a break. When we come back, Jax has got her in a chin lock, but Rodriguez powers out of it. And the story of this match is she constantly tries to pick up Nia Jax, but the back gives out. Jax takes over, and then Rodriguez fights back, tries to get Jax up on her shoulders, but again collapses. So Jax just hits her with a senton. Jax goes up to the middle rope, but Rodriguez catches her there, slips under, and looks for a split second like she's going to get her up and powerbomb the crap out of her. But again, Rodriguez's back gives out for a third time, and Jax uses this to hit the Annihilator and get the 1, 2, 3. The crowd were really into Rodriguez getting Nia Jax up.
The crowd was really good all night, actually. Elevated what I thought was an episode of Raw. I'll tell you what, right? I thought it was finished. I thought this match was a complete over-delivery.
Yeah.
Like, a real energy in the building. Like, they really wanted for the first time ever, I think realistically, they wanted Raquel Rodriguez to just overcome Nia Jax, who, like, to her credit, right, it's been a bit of a short return, but she hasn't injured anybody yet. I know it's absolute bare minimum stuff.
The matches are super heated.
But, like, people are into this Nia Jax character, and just in a general, broader sense, like, I long for this. Like, I'm not asking genuinely anyone to lose their job, but if just pro wrestling in this episodic cable era could just somehow emulate the territories, like if Nia Jax had never gone away, you'd never get a reaction like this.
No,
she feels like fresh, important, like she could be a game changer. And this match had a lot of heat, like inexplicably so as a result. The fans are whether the story told was the story that pretty much the only story you could tell against Nia Jax, but a very good version, probably one of the best. Yeah. Which is probably a bit of an indictment considering it wasn't great. I was just really impressed by it. And the finish, right, provided that Raquel Rodriguez is turning or will turn, the reaction here might give them pause, incidentally. But if the idea is she has had opportunities, I hate to use their language, but it's the language they speak. She's had opportunities taken off her and all the rest of it, and she thinks, right, I can't get it done because everything's against me, so maybe I should break the rules if they don't mean anything or whatever, and she turns. And this finish was great. Like, she used her savvy and skill to try and do something, and she just got fell on top of.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Nia Jax being particularly skilled. It was just kind of a right place at the right time. And Raquel Rodriguez, the character, was probably thinking, what more do I need to do? Sorry, that is my alarm. Why have I got an alarm?
You've had it set for several years, saying, like, if you ever praise Nia Jax, your phone's going to go off and tell you, "Sis, what are you doing?"
Why is that? 11:28.
That's so specific.
You know what it is? It was something from the Sunday dinner I made.
What you get?
Well, it's just the timings.
What was the roast?
Pork.
Nice.
Pork, roast potatoes, roasted honey glazed carrots, broccoli, and James Martin's Yorkshire puddings.
Wow.
Why don't you just get
some
your
ready mash for the kids? But I'll take a spoonful, put a little bit of whole grain mustard in there, and that is good. It's one of the best gravies I've ever made. So I think it was the carrots from Sunday. Apologies, everyone.
Lost the train of thought.
Your thoughts on Sunday roast?
Love Sunday roast. Never.
He can actually make them as well.
Yeah, I'm not anywhere near as good as Sage, or my wife for that matter. Who does
I don't know,
make them
tasted
well.
mine, and I've never tasted yours. Maybe it is good.
It was one of the few things I was actually taught to cook by my mum, and that was 20 years ago, and that list had 3 things on it, and that's still pretty much what I'm stuck with. This was a total over delivery. What?
So it just reminded me that when I went to uni, my mum wrote me a cookbook, and like some of it was like the most. I mean, I realise you're a student, but it's like beans on toast. It's like put beans in pan, heat for 3. My favourite thing is to say like, put beans in pan. Whilst beans are in pan, put toast on, or put bread in toaster.
I'm picturing you forgetting to do the bread in the toaster bit.
This is the best bit. So it'd have all the like beans in pan, toast, butter, bread to make toast, pour beans on, and then the last one would always be eat. Like, you're going to do all that and go, don't know what to do now.
I've done it wrong. Beans all up your cheeks. Mom!
Sorry, your thoughts on the match.
I know what I was going to say now. We try and flag up on this podcast wrestling being pretty misogynist and sexist.
Yes.
And one of the ways in which I think mainstream North American wrestling is very sexist is that it doesn't book women based on their wrestling style or their size in the way it does men. It's just like there's all these different men with all these different styles. Women's division. And they've all pretty much got to wrestle roughly the same way or rely on the same tropes or whatever. And I think like this was a good example of how WWE are trying to move away from that. Like Charlotte Rhea Ripley was another case of that earlier this year. Charlotte Flair, to be fair to her, in all that she's a total catastrophe on television, and that's hilarious and brilliant in its own way, she is physically bigger and stronger than so many of the women, and they finally seem to figure that out. She's hard as friggin' nails.
Yeah.
So when she goes in there to those big matches, you just get to see these like bloody-nosed fights, and they're brilliant, and it's what Charlotte Flair should be, rather than say, I don't know, like trying to work a technical wrestling match against Bayley, for example. Just one works and one doesn't. And this was a great example of that. I think like Nia Jax, of course she was always going to be positioned as a monster, but she was never really that effective as one first time around. And you're seeing it. I just think the matches are agented better this time. And because of Raquel Rodriguez's size as well, here she was effectively cast as somebody that might slay the monster and just failed on the night. I'm not convinced that this, I think they still will turn a heel. I just think fans were behind that simple story, because if this was a men's match with wrestlers like this, that's what you do. Can this like woman that's almost as big slay the monster? Not quite. Like that sort of agent should be applied to women based on different shapes and sizes.
And it could be a long-term thing as well of like, bloody hell, even Raquel Rodriguez couldn't pick Nia Jax up. Can anyone? Here comes Jade Cargill.
Well, here comes Rhea Ripley.
Oh, Rhea Ripley.
That title match is sat in the background, you know?
It was quite notable that just such an easy, basic story, the likes of which we've all watched and enjoyed throughout our wrestling fandom, got such a louder reaction than countless back and forths from so-called better workers on WWE television this year. Maybe this crowd was just up for it, though, because one of those exact identikit matches happened later and got a reaction for once.
We could, off the back of our live show next, we could do the roast of the Dadley Boyz, and it's just you cooking dinner for everyone.
Oh, there's food content to come out of me and Sidgwick one day that's going to be as stunning as it is absolutely disgusting. Guess who's cooking weird?
Right, there was a Xia Li video package ahead of her match with Becky Lynch. She was hitting a punching bag with Becky's face on it. And then again, we go backstage. And sorry, I forgot to say, backstage in this weird little room, you had Rhea Ripley, you had Dominic Mysterio, you had Finn Balor, and you had Senor Money in the Bank, and of course, collectively, they're in the fucking Judgment Day. Yeah.
And you say, and we're going live.
Priest getting frustrated because Drew's not there. Drew finally shows up, says, yeah, I think I'll be doing the advantage match. I'm going to kick someone's ass. I don't like anyone in the Judgment Day, says Drew, but I really don't like Jey Uso. And Priest's like, well, I don't really like you either, to be honest, because you cost me the world title, if you remember. They argue a bit, and then Priest says, fine, you represent us. Go and show your worth. And McIntyre says, good leadership.
Yeah, all right. Keen to see how it plays out in War Games, and that makes one of us.
We get a video package for the Women's War Games match. Obviously, all the stuff that was set it up on SmackDown.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole said, thanks to Ruffles, you can decide which team gets the advantage. So they knew...
We speak a lot about sexism and misogyny on this podcast. Fan vote. Huge bloodbath. Like,
Isn't it just them getting away from the fact that we always say every year, Sid, just make both teams.
No, just book an angle.
Both heels.
Toss a coin with two sides, and the heels say heads.
can you imagine this is like in the forum era, where like sort of all the like discerning WCW and NWA fans are like, guys, we need to hijack the vote and vote for the heels. The War Games is going to work for this business, instead of being
sanctity
like,
of war.
Yeah, instead of just like, I'm just going to vote for the baby. I like the baby faces. I'll vote for them. They just want the baby faces to get the advantage because Triple H is obsessed with the one-on-one.
I know the dynamic doesn't work, but it's Crisp's fault, guys.
Yeah.
So basically, they will rig it to get the baby faces the advantage.
Yep.
And Triple H can do his favorite pastime, which is calling WWE fans stupid and impatient and ignorant. Just go, hey, don't look at me. Don't look at me. It's the fans who said it, you know.
Unless they take Shotzi out, not suggesting that Shotzi shouldn't be in this match, but you've talked about the law of this sort of thing happening, and then so they're sort of at disadvantage until a fourth member shows up, Jay Cargill.
I thought you were going to say like the Ruffles mascot or something. This is it. Hang
on, I'll look into it.
I'll back the game Triple H, but don't try and make me turn heel on Crisps. I'm picking Crisps any day of the week, pal.
Ooh.
Don't blame Crisps for this when you're bad.
Well, that's it. That's
what they're asking. They're asking us to blame Crisps.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Yeah.
Less a game, which is meant to be fun,
A bit of pressure. Hot under the
more the most impossible question Michael Hamflet has ever been asked.
I'm feeling the red button memes coming, Sidge.
Did it. You have two choices.
Yeah.
Either continue to watch WWE programming
Love it.
or continue to eat crisps.
Oh, man.
Either you never watch a single minute of WWE television again in the future, or either you can't watch a single episode of WWE television pay-per-view, not 1 second of WWE,
do it.
or the alternative is you can never have a crisp again in your life.
And just to see if this might sway, I want to show him the picture of the mascot from Ruffles.
This is the fourth person on the babyface. Oh my God. Right, injure Shotzi now.
He's got sunglasses on.
Both things I have loved, and they haven't always loved me back. I think that's safe to
And
say.
you've liked them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Go Ruffles.
I think
Someone's done fan art of Ruffles on a pole.
could we argue that both have been bad for my health in various different ways? I think I'd have to.
There's no argument. They have.
All right, thanks. I'm doing what I can.
I'm done. Not doing
I
enough.
think I'd have to drop the crisps, you know. I think I would have to get rid of the
Quite
crisps.
right.
Like, unless, of course, we just eventually naturally morph into a crisp podcast so gradually that nobody notices. And then all our content is crisp based, then, you know, one's got to pay the mortgage, isn't it? Like, but right now, soz crisps. I'm out. Pringles, are we allowing them or not?
No, they're crisps.
Whole
they are
thing's
crisps.
gone. Yeah. I know. So,
And not Sky or no?
yeah. Can we
So you
have them
can-
instead of crisps?
You could just like sort of morph into a
I'd be a nuts guy.
nuts person. Yeah.
Yeah, like you did at uni.
Just like learn how to cook, and then you can have like really, really nice food and your beloved WWE at the same time.
My dry roasted peanut sandwiches on a tray in front of Raw.
Yeah. Oh God.
Perfect day.
Pillow tray.
Pillow tray, peanut sandwich. Money not right. Discovery on Discovery Plus. Great this morning. Big telly Raw.
Did you watch it on Big Telly?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But like Borat when he sits in that chair and he thinks he's the king. Great.
Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins. Do you like that on it? They met up backstage.
It's like you've got no control. I'm going to have to. I have to point at my dick. Sorry.
Instruct you to suck it.
Seth and Jay both fancy a fight
Not like
against.
Cena, get your head down there and suck it. You're that kid on that documentary. That's what he said.
I want to fight.
That kid in DX in 20 years.
Yeah. It's just a gesture. It's just an expression, you know. I'm not saying like get your head down there and suck it. That's what he says. Carry on.
They all want to fight. Sorry, Seth and Jay both want to fight Drew. Rollins says, "Like,
I'll put a link in there on X just to. There is a kid who said that when. Who was it like a big American TV network was doing this big sort
Yeah.
of like ban this sick
the
filth
latest,
piece
the latest thing
on the
Sweeping
Attitude
through, yeah.
era. Yeah.
They'd like,
And this is the kid defending himself.
yeah. They had like a funny, like almost like a wrestling adjacent name as well. It was like the Savages. Or something like that. There was some sort of name that was loosely associated. Oh, God, that's got me.
So Jay's going to fight Drew, it's decided, but they need a fifth member. Rollins has got an idea for a partner. Zayn says, just to clarify, can we have people from SmackDown? Yes. Right, he's going to go and have a word. And Rhodes says, I've got an old friend that I'm going to go and contact, and I'm sure that he'll come through. More on this later. And then we got Becky Lynch versus Xia Li. Lyra Valkyria, NXT Women's Champion. They will be fighting tonight on NXT. NXT preview later on today. What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from. She's watching. Becky Lynch has the edge early on. Xia catches her with a kick on the apron as we go to a break. When we come back, Xia Li's been dominating. Becky Lynch fights back, hits a Bexploder for a 2, puts her in an arm bar, but Lee canters out that into a cradle. Lee hits her with an airplane spin and gets a 2 count. A middle rope superplex from Becky Lynch gets her a near fall. Lee manages to hit that KO kick of hers, but Lynch spills out of the ring. She's a bit all over the place. Tells the referee she's continue, though. Lee tries to hit the kick again, but Lynch ducks, posts her, and they both collapse and just make it in at the count of 9. Lynch hits a manhandle slam and gets the 1, 2, 3.
I've compared Becky Lynch a few times to 1995 Bret Hart, and I appreciate that's a very, very lofty ceiling for it to hit. But it's not based necessarily on like all of these matches being fantastic, as most of Bret's were in 95. It's the range of...
Apart from Backlund, of course.
Yeah. Nobody got anything out of Backlund. It's the range of opponents she's been given.
The I Quit match where he doesn't say I quit.
Yeah, he just kind of goes...
Sounds like I
So
quit to
where
me.
Piper
Yeah.
asks Brett, who's applying the submission, do you quit? He's like, no.
What do you say? Fuck off, Roddy. That's what I say. That's what we're all saying by then. Even Brett hates that one, doesn't he? He calls it his worst match. She is having these matches where just a range of opponents she's being asked to get something different out of. Just, it's like... It's boring analysis, really, but like I just really enjoy the structure of these matches. She is entering that like ring general phase of her career where she's been the world champion, where she can be slotted in as a top star, as she has been with War Games, if she's needed for a title program, which we assume will be Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. It's completely believable. None of her star power feels like it's diminished when she drops down to help others. I think
the opposite.
I think she's a promoter's dream.
Yeah.
I think Becky Lynch is a dream member of your roster because these matches are such a standard. Like I said yesterday, it's yet again, I think this will be a case of Becky Lynch like elevating pretty poor booking and leaving you with a memory of something like quite effective. This wasn't quite the cage match with Trish. It wasn't quite the 2 matches with Tiffany Stratton, but this was a strong bit of business and like Xia Li's best thing she's done by far.
Yeah.
And we're saying that about Becky Lynch's opponents over and over again.
They considering how badly, I mean, you pointed out week after week how badly that they've set up the kick, and they sort of had to really work it with the video package earlier of like, look at this KO kick, not that one, or that one, but like they built it really well in this match of like, oh God, if she hits that, that's it, it's game over.
Becky's great. Becky is great in the ring. Getting to the point now where I do wish she could flex this form against like really, really great opponents. But there's time.
Yeah.
There is time. And this wasn't a great match. If there are lapsed fans who listen to our podcast, and thank you for that, who do so just to catch up and they might sort of want to dip their toes, I wouldn't necessarily go out your way to watch it. I would describe it as more impressive than great in and of itself. There were certain times when Xia Li was loading up that kick with the dramatic registering of the impact, and Becky just kind of ducked a bit early. I don't think it was that great. Certainly hot. It was certainly, as Hanford says, the best thing Xia Li's ever done, and she's not really had the chance to do much else. But again, the difference is, and this isn't enormously wonderful television in and of itself, but the difference is watch literally every other Xia Li match, and then this, and it is worlds apart. Like worlds and worlds apart. Becky Lynch is just that good at what she does.
2 unintentional poppers on this show. One we'll get to a little bit later on. And it's sort of awkward because they had a video package later on saying, hey, make sure you check out NXT and make sure you do. It's the best wrestling show of the week. But they called Xia Li unstoppable. Literally just been stopped about an hour ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what they're doing. Anyway, post-match, Damage Control coming through the crowd to kick Becky Lynch's ass. But they get attacked by Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and Shotzi. And a big brawl breaks out, and all the security pile in after separating them. And then there's a sort of Young Bucks-esque continuation after they get separated, which I really like.
Shut up, man.
But you don't see it much in WWE. Typically,
No,
that is it. And they did. The music was playing. It was like, we're going to break. No, we're not. We're still.
If anything, the invisible wall is visible in AEW these days.
Yeah.
let's not compare some WWE angle to the Full Gear Go Home closing angle, which is one of the best things you'll ever see in your life.
Ludwig Kaiser is backstage. He's pissed off with Giovanni Vinci. And Vinci says, hey, just trying to do what's best for Imperium. I'm just trying to do what's best for... Kaiser tells Vinci, hey, you stay in the back. I'll take care of Johnny Gargano. And then we got Johnny Gargano.
Skip.
Vinci came out and distracted him, and Kaiser got hit with the one final beat.
Yeah.
It was a bit better.
Rubbish finish. Generic. Good match action. Louder than usual. Skip, I should shut up.
Enough of all that. It's now time for this.
It's short, it's crap, it's wrestling related. The 5-star review. Nailed it!
This week's 5-star review is brought to you by...
I'm going to do that tonight. The live show.
What? Depends if we do a 5-star review and there's anything to skip on our live show. That's sincerely down.
Well, we'll see. We will see.
You got a ticket. And hey, maybe it won't be the last time of a live show. It might be, probably will be, but it might not be. Just saying. Anyway,
great stuff.
This week's 5-star review is brought to you by Rich. If you want to suggest something short, crap, and wrestling related for us to review, you can either do so on Apple Podcasts or leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Screenshot it.
We need the proof.
And then email it to me, adam.wilborn@whatculture.com, which is exactly what Rich has done. Rich writes, good afternoon, legends from Philadelphia's backyard, beautiful New Jersey. You guys are amazing. Always bring a smile to my face. Love the videos. Keep up the great work. As for my review, I'd like to talk about CM Punk, the Punker's second run in AEW. It's short, crap, and wrestling related. But seriously, please do something with the Nightmare Collective so Sid has to relive some of the worst AEW has ever seen.
Oh, boy.
P.S. Wilborn, my part of New Jersey is not North Jersey, so don't bother with the Sopranos impression. Feel free to read this in a funny voice. You think someone outside of Philly would sound like? Cheers, Rich. Thanks, Rich.
Philadelphia. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich. Nightmare Collective. Have over to you. Take us back.
AEW used to be the promotion where every year was defined by all of this incredible action and one total dud. The housemate you didn't like in a house of maybe 6 or 7 that just made life easier for everybody else because that's made this otherwise utopian situation a bit normal.
The guy who did the dishes just by pouring a kettle over them.
That kind of absolute trash. The one that never bought the milk. That kind of thing.
It was his. Same guy.
They always have the same treats. And if anyone is listening, it's not, and that's you, change your ways.
Yeah.
Because
Change
everybody
your
else
life.
is talking about you. And the Nightmare
Pouring
Collective.
the kettle. I forgot about that one. I'll do.
Done.
I get it. If you've got a stubborn bit of food, you can do that.
Soak it, yeah.
And then you return to the job and finish it.
The Simpsons nailed the little one, didn't they, with the staple in the banana at the
Yeah.
Like people like that as well. Bag the rubbish, mate. Come on.
Do you know what I used to do? I'll hold my hands up here. One thing I used to do, limited drying space in our house. And sometimes I'd wake up and be like, oh, bloody, I've got no clothes to wear. I need to wash some clothes. And I'd wash them. We had a dryer in our accommodation. And I sometimes would look in it and be like, oh, so-and-so's stuff's already in there. When he gets back from work, he's going to want to, because we worked as well, he's going to want to take that out and hang that up. So I'd just take his stuff out of the dryer, put mine in, dry it, hang it up, and then put his stuff back in there. Like, oh, it's magically swap places, apparently.
How do they do that?
Yeah. What a git I was to live with. But hey.
You know now that it's a bad thing and you wouldn't do it again.
Oh, yeah.
So again, if you're listening,
don't
be the housemate. Don't be the housemate, which is what the Nightmare Collective was to the otherwise utopian AEW. Look, my memories of it, thankfully, are pretty hazy now, which is a bugger, right? Because I'm probably going to have to direct it at you, Wilborn, so you've probably got no input on this. I was looking, if you've got them, for like 120,000 passionate, insightful words on this specific era of AEW.
I've written like probably at most 500 words on this.
What the frig am I going to do then?
You want how many?
Like, I'm after like 120,000 ideally, and they've got to be passionate, insightful.
No, I can't help you.
Well, and another problem, I've just moved house.
Where do you live now?
I live in the world now.
Okay. Sid, any ideas?
Whoa! What's that out the book hole?
It's 120,000
Bring the book hole
passionate
tonight.
and insightful words all about the formation and indeed rise of All Elite Wrestling, called Becoming All Elite, the Rise of AEW, in which, yes, the Nightmare Collective is covered. It was bobbins. It was amateur dramatics. It was just really pretentious in the worst kind of way. Like, good stuff that insists upon itself, to use that Family Guy gag, shout out Matt Rains, is bad enough, but when it's rubbish and it insists upon itself, it just develops into this whole new realm of cringe. And
that wrestling thing where it was unfixable, so they thought, we'll keep trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And change it and make it worse.
yeah.
And,
So the general gist is that Brandy Rhodes sought to unleash Awesome Kong. Great idea, but the wrong time, because sadly, considering how awesome she was, she really genuinely was thrashed at that point. They then tried to use the stable, as they did with several others around this time. It wasn't quite as halcyon as Hamlet makes out, as a recruitment thing. So the episodic weekly TV would be, do you want to be in the Nightmare Collective? And someone would go, no. All right, cut your hair off then. Okay, what?
That spooky stable not for you? Do you want to be in the Dark Order?
Yeah.
Got a few kicking around.
Got a few. Tony 2 times, man. He's always been at it. He has always been at this. And then it was mercy killed after Luther, who's still dragging down Axe to this day.
He's still there.
Because he's Chris Jericho's mate.
Yeah.
Just got laughed at, basically.
We've done.
Laugh out, Luther.
I realised making my notes and shout out to Kid Icarus for keeping a track of all this. I was like, oh yeah, we've done the Nightmare Collective before. We've done is it like a Statlander match where
Oh, God.
Luther just shows up?
Because I was that Riho versus Statlander?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the
Because
one.
what happened was that was January 8th, 2020. Because January 1, 2020 was like the Powers Pack. I'm like, oh, it's still good. This thing I've dreamt of that felt like this tulpa I had created after literally spending 3 years of my What Culture career just trying to just scream into a void that wrestling should be more like this. And the void just answered back. I didn't expect that to happen, ever. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, it's finished. Oh. In record time, actually.
What's that in the void? Oh, it's Mel.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mel. You're right. And then January 1st was like, are the Elite still Elite? And then you got the Hangman page.
Yeah, classic.
And it was all right, okay. Woo! Powers back. Then the next week, it's like, Statlander versus Riho. And I'm like, well, this is awesome because that's probably the best women's match that they could do. And then the Nightmare Collective come out to do that. And then, Luther comes out and ruins the whole thing. Do you want to know a little bit of pretty awesome and sliding doors terrifying trivia about those 2 weeks of AEW Dynamite?
Yes.
Are you ready for this? Right, so that Dynamite, January 1st, Cody versus Darby, Elite versus the group that would be called Death Triangle, and Moxie versus Trent. You had the stuff with the car. And a pretty good four-way women's match.
Yeah.
Good Jericho promo, just felt like vibes are back. It was in dailies, it was just lush. Right, okay. In the week later, it was, the Nightmare Collective are back and they are worse than ever. Oh, that's a bit of a blip. That's not good. But you'd thought, well, last week's was such a return to form that we'll just we'll bury it, but we'll just hope that it's not the norm. And they listened when the Dark Order was rubbish, so they'll listen to this.
Yeah.
They'd earned the trust from a week, okay? That Statlander versus Riho match and the accompanying angle with the debut of Luther was originally intended, I think I might be getting my facts wrong now that I'm saying it out loud. But I'm fairly certain that match was scheduled for that show, and then they changed it to a four-way women's match because Statlander, in a LOL WCW moment, had already committed to an indie.
Yes, I remember you telling me this.
They'd put her on that show, right, on the first. And like, all right, okay, well, no, it's probably better if she honours the booking. I don't think they would do that now, to be fair. Look at Moxley and Island. But that could have happened on the Elite still Elite. It's the basic subtext. We're back. Well, you're not. Yeah. Just turned up. But so they eventually realised how dismal it was. Tony Khan in that holiday season, which started in his house in July. Remember that? I love that when he's like, I did some introspection over the holidays and I decided to basically quietly disband the creative committee and just, no longer, everything had to go through me. I had to approve everything because until then, the implication was, this rubbish thing that somebody else wants to do. Tony Khan would be like, okay, you can do it. It's a committee. Then he's like, nah, this won't do. This is kind of serious. We need to change the way we operate here. Funny, I thought he did that in December, but according to him, he did that before the launch of Dynamite in July with his Christmas tree in his house.
How's he got so much free time over Christmas? Like, I've been doing this 6 months.
Yeah.
So how's everybody taking some time off?
So that is the abbreviated story of the Nightmare Collective, but maybe how do they disband?
Well, Brandy's gone to therapy. She goes to the Atlanta Behavioral Center, and the therapist there. And stick around for this, for the big thing at the end. Hi, Brandy. Can you tell me why do you think you're here today? And she's looking all dressed up. She's got a dress on. She's got a fancy hat on. She says, "Well, my husband asked me to come. I suppose he's worried about me, something like that." The therapist is like, "You've recently had a head injury at work, yes?" Brandy says, "No, I've not had a head injury." And then they literally splicing the footage of her smashing her head against the railing after Cody accidentally.
She takes the bullet for Cody against the Guevara dive.
And therapist goes, oh, okay. This is me acting, but also the therapist acting. Okay. Never had any head trauma. You see over her shoulder, her writing in the book, the only note she has written on this entire page in all caps is, memory loss. Therapist goes, why don't you tell me a little bit more about this new group of friends that you have, the Nightmare Collective? And he says, so, there's Awesome Kong. She's a monster. She really likes hair. She likes to cut hair, and she likes to smell hair. And they show footage of that just in case you're not sure.
Awesome Kong in the YouTube comments. Oh, I wish I was there.
Then there's Mel. Mel just kind of wanted to fit in. So she got rid of all that hair and look at her now. Okay?
Awesome Kong was buzzing. Free hair. I love it.
Match made in heaven, if anything.
And then there's Luther, and we obviously cut to a foot. There's Luther.
Okay.
And she just goes, Luther loves blood. It's his description. Therapist completely no-sells all this. Do you know what the definition of a cult is, Brandy? A cult is just a relatively small group of people with certain beliefs or practices that other people might deem sinister. Brandy goes, you think we're a cult? Is that what you think? You've been reading the internet? Because that's their little hot button issue.
You know, Brandy, mate.
Cabra's like,
It's your fault, if anything.
Oh, God.
Of course not. Let's just move on, says the therapist. Brandy, sometimes, sometimes when people are fearful, they can create alternate personalities. For example, I think the real Brandy's afraid. Maybe people won't like her. Do you think it's possible you've created this character, this alter ego, to help you cope with that? And Brandy goes,
Should be like a week 12 revelation here.
Brandy goes, oh my God, you've nailed it, right? I think I figured it out. I think I understand. I don't have to be this person. I think we made some serious progress here, Doc. I've never felt so clear in my entire life. 2 minutes into therapy, this, by the way. I never felt so clear in my entire life. I feel like I can move forward. I think you're right. There's nothing wrong with me. And then the shot changes. And she's not in a fancy dress and a fancy hat. She's just in casual clothes. And the doc she's been talking to is a Beanie Baby! I forgot about this. I forgot about the twist ending.
They did a follow-up where it was like, yeah, you had memory loss. I'm sorry about that. And it's not you to do this Nightmare Collective thing. No, it isn't. Right, okay, let's just stop. Yeah. Let's just nip that in the bud.
So we go to the comment section. Once again, these do not reflect the views of myself, Michael Havlet, Michael Sidgwick, Adam Nicholas, or anyone at What Culture Wrestling.
Oh, I'm worried about this one.
Well, some of them at the start.
Because as much as Brandy Rhodes has done some not particularly great things on TV, I think it's more uneven than bad. She's got some great promos.
Yeah. First comment we get here, Sidge, is from Munchie, who says, so we all imagined that the psychiatrist was there too.
It's a bit like the WCW Warrior moment.
Yeah.
It is. What's the character in Family Guy? The Randy Newman, just typing what he sees.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, just me, or did you think she was talking to a therapist? Huh? Watch till the end.
Rex writes, I'm not going to lie, for weeks I've been getting annoyed by this angle, but, all caps, this video baggage was fire! Can't wait to see how it unfolds now. And people are like, oh my God, are we going to get therapy session 2?
The Drain Bamager.
Fire! With all the flames and put out by crying, sideways laughing emojis.
Quiet Mind Yoga says, this totally saved the Nightmare Collective story. It was starting to feel like Dungeon of Doom. Now it's feeling like long-term storytelling with nuance and depth. Well done.
Nope.
They found a bump that tried to make sense of it all.
What if we put Beanie Baby in there?
They went to absurd lengths to retcon it when they could have just went, like, get rid of that.
Do you think in the first pitch as well, she pitched for Lil Bran Bran instead of the Beanie Baby? It was like an advert for the action figure.
Well, should have.
Yeah.
Sex Toy A539.
As opposed to the 8538 other sex toys in the YouTube comment section.
Go one by one. Sex Toy 2, Sex Toy 3.
Just right, it's already better than the Royal Rumble. What year was this? So 2020?
The Royal Rumble was so good.
The Royal Rumble was class.
It was
one of the best.
Brock won, the Edge come back, the Drew win. It was such a great Rumble.
Yeah.
He was that big. Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, dear. Jet writes...
Jet.
Crazy or not, she's still smoking.
All right, Jim Carrey. Did you write this one?
Yeah. I did like it. Once again, these are not reflected views myself, Hamlet Sidge, Nicholas. Paul K. Wants to focus on the important stuff here, Sidge. It's all elite wrestling, isn't it? So he writes, let's wrestle. Sorry, no, he says, let's wrestle between the sheets. Zach just writes, oh my God, just let me drink a shower water.
Why is that weirder than bathwater?
Yeah. It's like,
Look, most of it's going
all
on.
the mainstream people are going bathwater, I'm going to shower.
It would, that's it. Yeah, you'd look at... Aye. You can just scoop it. It's going on the plug hole. Quick. Stop it.
That bit hasn't been on her skin. That's what they're saying, not me.
Final couple of comments. We'll get back to Raw in a second. Carlos writes, she never shows the socks she wears. Why?
Socks is a new one for me.
Another waste of 2 hours watching Dynamite. Now.
Wait a second. She's not in the dress anymore. Maybe we'll see the socks. Yeah, cool. The therapist disappeared. But what about the socks? Huh? What happened to them? Final comment comes from Simon. It's sort of circling back to a classic of ours. Writes, I would... I would pay legit money just to be your wedgie.
Oh, God. Shoot cash. Yeah. Legit money.
To become what? To become a sentient pair of...
But just the wedgie. She unpicks the wedgie and is like, oh, nothing now. No, that's it. That was
It's obsolete now.
hell of a second. Worth all my legit money.
So thanks, Rich.
Worth
for that.
every legit penny.
Oh, dear. Thank you for that. If you want, like Rich, to suggest something short, crap, and wrestling related for us to review, you can either do so on Apple Podcasts or leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Screenshot it
We need the proof.
and then email it to me,
We
adam.wilborn
need it for this.
at whatculture.com. Back to Monday Night Raw. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are arguing with Adam Pearce. Piper Niven did get a disgusting in here, which popped me. And then all the teams just start piling in. Natalya and Tegan Nox want a title shot. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter love to have fun and don't abide by the rules. They want a title shot. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell have recovered from their head trauma and now they want a title shot. And then Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile show up.
Who's Ivy Nail?
And Jimmy Nail's sister shows up.
She's lying.
I think they weren't actually there for a title shot, but Bozer and Pierce, they're like, you get a title shot, you get, and they're like, oh, sweet. Ivy Nile goes, oh, no, we don't actually, and Maxine Dupree, shoosh. I'm getting a 4-way.
It was abysmal, wasn't it? Like this segment of the match. Nice thing to say about the match. This was abysmal.
Yeah, that's abysmal. Anyone can have a go.
Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom go into their, what are they called? Clubhouse.
The clubhouse.
And bloody Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler have crashed the place and they're chucking cards about now. It'll take ages to tidy that up. Zoe tells Rhea, you're focusing on everything but the thing you should be focused on. I love what you've done with the place, but what really sticks for me is that title hanging up right there. Come Survivor Series, you're coming home with me. And Rhea's like, hey, I respect you for coming into our clubhouse, but I'm going to kick your ass at Survivor Series. Good, says Zoe, just the way I like it.
What the f was this? I like what you've done with the place. Similar to every other arena we travel to, actually. Like every week, they make like Zoe Stark talk, and like she can hit really hard. They have found ways to. This is like anti-promotion of what she offers. I know it's WWE, and there's one way.
Vintage triple this.
There it is. It's a bit of triple. Don't push her this way.
No.
Match will over deliver. Maybe it won't, because maybe it'll be heatless, because the build's done nothing for them.
Yeah, less than nothing almost.
Four-way time, though, yeah, it was. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Maxine Dupree, and Ivy Nile, and Natalia and Tegan Knox, with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven on commentary. And Chelsea Green keeps calling Michael Cole Matthew Cole. Matching
That's
gear.
not his name.
No,
Matching
Chris
gear?
Jericho 1999. It's giving Chris Jericho in 1999.
Matching gear for three of the teams.
Yeah,
Like that.
It was Natalia for me. Like of all the people that stuck out, it was like
The bar is in hell.
The bar is in hell. It was just like she's trying to befriend Tegan Knox and be part of something. Bless her. 15-year pro, whatever it is.
Maxine Dupree hits a splash on everyone on the outside to take us to a break. When we come back, Katana Chance is beating up Natalia, but she comes back with a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. Ivy Nile, another nice showcase for her, power bombs both Knox and Natalia out of the corner, and that allows Carter to flip Katana Chance onto both of them for a nice 2 count. Maxine Dupree comes in, hits consecutive body slams on Tegan Knox and a caterpillar, along with an elbow into an elbow drop. Dupree hits a Northern Light suplex for another 2. Nile and Dupree hit Knox with a double vertical suplex. Nile goes up top and Natalia yanks her down. She tries a flying crossbody, but Knox rolls through, cradles her. 1, 2, 3. Knox and Natalia are the number 1 contenders.
An impressive over delivery, this to me. I feel like, you know, that clip of when the Ultimate Warrior has been an awful, awful man and Vince McMahon makes him film that apology, and you can hear Vince in the background going, "It's a work." Like, sometimes I just want the turd to be polished because it's a work, right? What they're doing with Maxine Dupree, this is like a first match in ages, but they did it the last time as well. You can absolutely do. I can't wrestle, and I'm sort of figuring it out.
Yeah.
And they get over like gangbusters. People love.
Especially when you've got Ivy Nile in your corner.
Yeah, like going for the power slam, the build up to the dive, all that stuff. Like, just really great basic babyface stuff. And Katana Chance and Kaden Carter are so often the team that talk about how they're the only good team, and they never really get any sort of opportunities to show that that might be true. Their double team stuff here was legitimately impressive. It's not an every time thing, but
Sometimes they're horrific at it.
yeah, sometimes they have really good nights. When they follow the rules, it's so much better. Sometimes they have really great nights, and this was one of them. I thought this was a decent bit of business. And again, they're kind of faking it till they make it with all these losers just gathered around backstage waiting to do something. But they're trying to tell you they've got a tag division, and matches like this will probably help.
They won't.
No? You don't think so?
Oh, no.
You didn't like this?
Oh, so it just wasn't very good. It was tighter than I expected. But
Yeah.
it's not going to help the women's division, Hamlet. Let's hold our horses here. This Maxine Dupree stuff was charming for a week.
Basically, in August or whatever.
If the gag is the juxtaposition of, right, she can't wrestle, has this kind of like really dorky, she sends herself up in the role. If I was going to be very, very, try to be objective, this is not the kind of thing I enjoy, right? She willingly, with the way she moves about, looks like a goofball, and she commits to the bit. The juxtaposition of it worked early when it's like, all right, she's a goofball, she's doing this bit where she pretends she can't wrestle, and what the fuck? That was a Japanese ocean cyclone suplex.
Yeah. I used to wait for that move to download on MP4 for 2 hours.
Yes.
In the late 90s, and I've just seen it on Raw
Yeah.
in a mid-card match with a newcomer.
Yeah. What? Basically, she needs to do like a Ganzo bomb next week or something.
Just keep leveling up.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just it's a bit dorky.
Kaiser and Vinci are arguing backstage. Gunther flies in. Kaiser says, I bloody told him to stay away to Vinci. Do his job. It was going fine. Gunther says, you never listen. I thought you could uphold the prestige of this group. You've disappointed me. Giovanni, well done again. Maybe the wrong person's in charge. Watch me handle the Miz. Learn a thing or two.
So rubbish. Rubbish and pointless, and it doesn't diminish Gunther, as we'll get to, in the slightest, but it does diminish these two, and there's no need to do that. They should be like Gunther's heaters and a super awesome like 3-man faction when they needed to be. I don't get it, and other than last week when it was a little bit, I've never really got the need to do this. It's Triple H's like bloodlust for breaking up stables laid bare. I can tolerate it to a certain degree. I do not get it with these three.
No, it's just the same thing I say every week, so I won't say it again.
The men's tag teams are now arguing backstage, and Pierce books
Tony Khan booked this.
tag team turmoil to determine number one contenders.
22 times.
New Day, Indus-Shed, DIY, Imperium, Alpha Academy, and the Creed brothers. This did get a pop from me, not for any of the, I was dancing with the football belt or whatever, but Bozeman Pierce going over to someone saying, "Can you call Nick Aldis, please, and put him through to my office?" And Nick Aldis says, "No need," and he stood a yard behind him.
Wait, come back.
And they're gonna go off to have a chat.
Again, it's hanging a lampshade on something that's rubbish. Like the men, logically, all of them should go, that's how you get a tag title shot. Let's just go and harass him.
Yeah.
And all the teams think that at the same time. But even then, it hasn't worked because it's like, we've been putting a much tougher match. How was that? How was that fair? It's dumb.
But then,
really dumb.
I did think, it's Bobbins this. And I thought, wait a second. Tag team turmoil. That means Creed brothers could kick everyone's ass. Maybe I'm into it now.
Yeah, that would be really, they're perfect for tag team turmoil.
Who?
The Creeds.
Yeah, of course they are.
What the fuck was I thinking? Yeah, this was great.
So it turns out it's great. Really excited to see what you think of what came next, because they hyped this up, Gunther and Miz face to face. And I thought, here we go. Here we go. He's going to read his Wikipedia page, and we know what's coming.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I can't believe this.
Yes!
I can't believe you've done this.
Miz talks about Gunther showing him a lack of respect. I'm playing Bones backstage now.
That isn't that dead man. You're going to take the legacy of BSK forward. M-I-Z. It's yours now. Thanks, dead man.
Sure didn't go like that in the mid-2000s locker room of
I'm sure it
SmackDown.
did not.
Nice try, dead man, but I'm awesome, so.
Hey, Bradshaw, shit in his hat.
Gunther is out there as well. He says he wants to make...
Hawk. But he still calls him that from back in the day.
You're on the real world, is that right, kid? Well, in this real world, this dead man comes back from the dead. I'll show you what's goddamn movie.
You think so you're from the real world, huh? You think I'm fucking fake? Is that what that means? Huh? You think I'm fake? No, Mark. It's the fucking dead man! Call me by my first name, I'll kick your ass.
Me and you were going to the bar, Mike. Okay, I'll get some
And you're
respect.
paying.
And you're paying. We'll see what kind of chick magnet you are. Give me 6 women. Go. You got 10 minutes, kid. I'm paying alimony out the ass for another divorce. How much you think this tattoo got to get removed? Give me 6 chicks, you chick magnet. I'll be playing bones in the corner with a godfather. Ever heard of him? Hey, Savio! Miz will get you a whiskey. What the hell?
I don't think
love to
Miz
say-
will get you a whiskey.
I'd love to see... Oh, the alarm's going off.
No, it's not meant to, is it?
That's
It's
fine.
gone.
It's gone. I'd love to see Mark show up on Miz and Mrs. You know, like Maurice's mum's been a nightmare, but thankfully Mark's coming over.
That could totally work, because like Maurice and Michelle McCool could believably be like friends, ex-colleagues, the sort of thing. Like, and it's that awkward thing where like, I don't really get along with the husband. Who's the husband then is? It's the fucking Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
Jesus, the Undertaker's coming over. He's really serious.
I watched your show when I watched mine. One dead man show. Huh? I got a new podcast. You want to do that too? Ah, you're right. Thanks, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
Oh, thank God Undertaker's left.
Where are we? Oh, yeah, Gunther says he wasn't a lack of respect. He had
The Gunther taker.
he had no respect for Miz. The rings for fighters. Miz is only an entertainer. And Miz is like, thanks very much. By that compliment. Miz says, grew up watching men like, Macho Man, Randy Savage, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart.
Why don't you mention my name, Mike? Don't respect the dead man is what I'm hearing.
Oh, you think our dude's faking in the real world? Oh, this is the real world here, kid.
Get him, Kane.
Get him, Kane. Get him, Hawk. Undertaker calls Bradshaw Hawk. Probably does.
Oh, God.
Miz work.
Beer.
Sick him, Savio.
I'd rather go to the Judgment Day's clubhouse than a BSK Bones any day.
Bones
of the
Symposium.
week. God, can you imagine? Doesn't bear thinking about.
Smashing bottles of Jack Daniels for Pat there.
Yeah.
Buy another one.
Waste.
You're looking at Mike, that's yours. Drink it up.
Drink it up. I don't want to see a shard of glass on that floor. Eat it.
Miz worked hard for years so he could hold the title that his heroes held 8 times, was it?
Who cares?
Greenhorns lapping up Jack Daniels off the floor so the dead man respects him. I like this kid, Vince. Drank the whole bottle.
And you eat it too.
Can't feel his tongue anymore. Making glass out of it. Real glass. Grime in the river. Punk wouldn't drink a goddamn drop of it. Asshole. Wouldn't wear a suit like the dead man. That was right, wasn't it?
Aye.
Dickhead.
I hate him so much.
Tombstone in like 8 minutes.
Honestly,
Back on the line, Phil.
Honestly, if Undertaker and Triple H never got involved in professional wrestling, it would be considerably better.
We still remember the legends that Miz has mentioned because they aren't one-note wonders like Gunther. Miz talks about adapting and changing over his career. Gunther hasn't been at the bottom. You only find out what he's made of when he hits the bottom. Could he climb the mountain again if he did? He's record-breaking Intercontinental Champion. What are you talking about, Mike?
He's not licked Jack Daniels up off the floor.
No, he has not.
They just couldn't say it out loud.
Miz threatens to beat respect to Gunther. Gunther says, I know I'm facing at Survivor Series. Little Mike Miz, Danny. Is he little Drakey Maverick? He's a little weirdo who got bullied in high school because he idolized all the wrestlers that he named. Finally became
Sure, the Miz is meant to be a jock.
well,
He's not a weirdo.
stick around because he says you finally became a WWE superstar and then you still got bullied by your fellow superstars because you didn't belong in this sport. Gunther says Miz doesn't belong in his ring. He belongs on the other side of the barricade. On the other side of the barricade with all the weirdos, the other weirdos. Then there's a
You can't
US.
say marks,
No.
but that's what they meant.
Yeah.
But then in doing so, you create the idea that the Miz was like an emo or something.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't. He
And
was
that
like,
Michael Cole was one of them.
he was like a jock.
There's a USA chat in here that Gunther just completely shut down.
Amazing stuff. That nothing to do with the promo. And he basically just stopped short of saying, "Stop being racist, losers."
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He called the fans insecure, like little Mike. And then he says, I think you've been bullied enough, actually. And he starts shoving him and sticking shoulders into him. And why you defend yourself? He just keeps needling Miz. Miz tries to fight back and Gunther just boots him. Gunther grabs Miz from behind, shoves the IC title in his face. Miz mule kicks Gunther and hits the skull-crushing finale. Watch Michael Cole. Kind of ruins it. Yelling, do it for all of us weirdos, Miz! But that
Unpress.
Yeah, that Cole line aside, you really like this.
Yeah, like the verbiage here, other than Gunther's improvised stuff, was like putrid. Like incredibly, like even by WWE standards, so like selective. I understand what they're trying to say. Why couldn't they just say, Hardcore Holly didn't think much of you in 2006?
Yeah.
I don't either, sort of thing. So they have to do, instead of like Mark or you got bullied by the SmackDown locker room, which is the worst place. What's worse, BSK or the SmackDown locker room of the 2000s? The SmackDown locker room of the 2000s,
Yeah.
actually.
And who was in both? The Undertaker and Bradshaw.
Yes.
I'm just asking questions.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Treat me with respect. The weirdo thing was so stupid. And Michael Cole, stand up for us weirdos, Mike. What? That was stupid. I like this almost entirely because Gunther is incredible. So incredible, in fact, that how am I wanting The Miz to kick Walter's arse? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the magic and the genius that is Gunther. Like, that bit where someone clearly doesn't want to fight, so much so. This is probably not good babyface work, but let's concentrate on Gunther to get some joy out of this. When someone's like shoulder barging your shoulder blade from behind, it's like, oh, they just don't want part of it. Just go away, back off, you're a horrible bully. Though Gunther's body language here was absolutely unbelievable. I tell you what, AEW spent almost the entirety of 2022 on 9 long months from the Dynamite after Revolution 2022 to what ROH Final Battle. This overlong, tell don't show, appealing to the gallery, pro wrestling versus sports entertainment storyline. It was like, oh, it's so lame. It's like really one dimensional, and like I just feel like I really rarely feel watching AEW TV like a thick mark who just gets his slop to gobble down. But they were basically trying to get me to go, oh, boo, sports entertainment. It's like, I like it sometimes. Yeah. Good sports entertainment is good. Yeah. Like the BCC versus JAS hit me as much as anything as the post-match of Savage Warrior from WrestleMania 7. Maybe you can start talking smack on sports entertainment. This is better. This is but that exact dynamic of the clown, the showman versus the serious wrestler, this is better than that feud, other than the in-ring, which was goated because Anarchy in the Arena was part of it, obviously. I'm not that much of an idiot, but in terms of, I'm being facetious, but Gunther's body language was just expert here. Like, what a dickhead bully. He was great.
Out of absolute nowhere, Sidge, on the Miz and Gunther, are we maybe...
maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
Never saw it coming.
Maybe a little bit. But I'll reserve judgment on how insulting the match is.
I think it's an even bigger test now because they've given you the Miz getting that one advantage in a believable setting where like Gunther had what was coming to him as well. That's something that would have been a great part of the match. And I think it was useful for the build, but they've given it away here, so they've now got to do something else.
Oh, I think they'll just redo it.
I
think he's going to low blow him and hit a skull crushing finale for a near fall.
For a cool 2 count, yeah. But it's whether or not it's as heated scene at the second time as the first, because they gave you something
this
here.
This could be Gunther's masterpiece, and it might bloody have to be.
Rollins is chatting with Jay backstage, saying, "You better win." And Jay's like, "Yeet." Rollins is a bit, "Get me serious here." Jay sort of calms himself down before the main event. Before that, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Chad Gable. Chad Gable takes out Nakamura with a cannonball to take us to a break early on. Nakamura's got the edge when we come back. Neck breaker and some strikes from Gable gets him a 2 count. A sliding German suplex and a flying knee strike gives Nakamura a near fall 2. But Gable hits a cliffhanger DDT and a diving headbutt for 2. Somewhere in amongst all this as well, Cole gets a bit confused and starts calling Gable Angle. He was like comparing him to Angle and then just started straight up calling him Angle.
Didn't he then try and recover it in a really dumb way? It was like, it's kind of a lot like Angle actually, which is why I said that.
Yeah.
In a way.
Gable hit a stalling German suplex, a dragon suplex, goes for the moonsault, but Nakamura gets his feet up. It's a reverse exploder. Gable counters the Kinshasa into an ankle lock, but Nakamura manages to roll out of it. And the turnbuckle's been exposed. Nakamura tries to shove Gable into it. He stops himself, but the hesitation in amongst doing all that allows Nakamura to roll up Gable and get the 1, 2, 3.
Nakamura has charmed me again.
He hasn't.
He has for me. What's he doing this for? Like
Punk's coming back on Saturday.
I love the
Otis. It was cut and dried.
Yeah. It's definitely happening.
Love the Otis match. Love this. What's he motivated for? Because I don't think it's for running the table with Alpha Academy. But it's not CM Punk, is it? It's just not.
What?
So what's
he talking about?
Well, he's invested. I'm watching a Shinsuke Nakamura that feels like he's engaged in the work he's doing. Like, why?
2019 when I still cared. He's been, honestly, AJ Styles, I think maybe a lot of people have got such nice memories of how great AJ Styles used to be. This is a completely incidental point. I'll give you my brief thoughts on the match I'm meant to be reviewing imminently. AJ Styles, the second half of this WWE run has been so whack.
Would you say he used to be more of a rounded worker and it's all gone a bit flat?
Yeah, I would say so. He's the most flat top star in wrestling today.
Your feet are flat, Sidgwick.
There's just something about it that makes sense. I didn't think much of this match. It was good. I think it was great. I didn't feel like anyone was dialed in. I mean, Gable's Gable. He's always awesome. But that was the deadlift for me. It's like, I think Nakamura understood that assignment a little bit too literally. It's like he just sort of went, right, okay, oh, good, deadlift, oh, good, I don't have to do anything here.
Yeah.
Like he didn't actually do like a flail or anything.
Backwards, yeah.
He just went.
Is it Cody then? If not Punk.
Oh, look, it's blatantly obvious. What has he just done? What has Shinsuke just done?
Defeated Chad Gable.
And therefore has defeated
Alpha Academy.
Which you can shorten down to
AA.
Who's the only other? Who's another person who's beaten the AA? CM Punk.
Kicked out of it.
There you go. Thank you very much. It's right there.
The evidence
Smart
is
enough.
there.
Main event time?
Nearly. Judgment Day approached McIntyre, and he says, "Don't be at ringside." Priest says, "We're not offering anyway, so not bothered." McIntyre says, "Good." Leaves.
If anything.
There was a video I forgot to mention earlier with Ivar looking sinister with Valhalla, challenging Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed accepts.
For Survivor Series.
No, I think this is just for
Monday.
next week. I
All
got
right.
very excited because Bronson Reed says, "I'm going to take your Viking ship." And I was like, Viking rules match? But I think it was just like, "I'm going to take your Viking ship and smash it with a tsunami or whatever." So I think it's just a one-on-one match. Still, though, big lads kicking each other's ass.
Yeah, still be good this.
Eyeball match, great. Sounds fantastic. Zayn and Rollins hype up Jay before the match. There's a War Games video package as well. And Rhodes says, "Any luck finding a partner?" And Zayn's like, "No, kind of hit a bit of a stumbling block on mine," which is appreciated.
That's
Tiny
Kevin
bit
Owens
of work.
tease. Yep.
Because he's tried for Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens has been suspended, so he can't be in War Games. Rollins says, "I had no luck either." And Rhodes says, I don't know why Rhodes asked, "You find anyone?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Well, I have." "Well, when you lead with that, why don't you lead with that?" He says, "Oh, yeah,
He's like, I think it's a bit overrated, actually. It's been 20 years of this.
He said, "We're in
All right,
business."
friend us losers. I've got someone.
We're in business. He's in. And I'll do some incredibly blatant teasers later on. And then we got Drew McIntyre.
It was verbatim what we said when we take the piss of what they might do.
It was Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso for the War Games advantage. McIntyre takes control, cuts off Jay's comeback, and chucks him over an announce desk and take us to a break. Jay avoids a charge. McIntyre posts himself. Jay hammers away, and the crowd chant "yeet" with every single strike. He hits a Samoan drop for a 2 count. But McIntyre comes back, counters a clothesline into a neck breaker, goes for a claymore, but Jay super kicks him. Jay goes up top but gets crotched by McIntyre, who pulls him off. Future Shock DDT. 1, 2, 3. Judgment Day have got the War Games advantage. Post-match, here's Rhea Ripley, who tells Drew to finish Jay off, and the rest of the Judgment Day are there to help. McIntyre's about to put Jay through a table, starts fighting back. Oh, that's when the rest of Judgment Day show up. Swarm him, but then here comes Rollins, Rhodes, and Zayn with chairs to run out and make the save. And they clear the ring. Cody grabs the mic and says, "Yeah, we got a 5th member. It's someone I've got a legacy with. And you look at us and you think we're all prey. Well, we're not prey, because we've got the apex predator." And the crowd's like, "Wait a second, that's Randy Orton." And they start chanting Randy, and he says, "Yep, you're not hearing voices in your heads." The fans are right. He doesn't explicitly say Randy Orton, but he's all the way there.
And if I was to say, Judgment Day, come and shake my hand, you would come and do it.
Check your gear, because one of our partners might have taken a shit in it. You get it?
I will say this. Subtleties aside, I did love the brief shot of Jay being like, "Oh, bollocks, it's Randy."
Like, they've done it again with this Jey Uso character basically having to be the one guy that gets blamed for everything bad the Bloodline did. You were instructed to look at this. Like, this wasn't like
Jay being like, "Well, at least it's the last person I've Drew. He's turned heel, but I've cleaned it up with Sammy and Kev and Cody and what have you. Whew, I can finally relax in this." Oh, Randy Orton's back. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's like, I think these babyfaces lose on Saturday, and I think like Randy Orton and Jey Uso, like, you can basically do the Drew McIntyre thing, but Randy doesn't turn heel. They have their issues, but ultimately, they find a way through it, sort of thing. And it shows you the contrast of Drew McIntyre. And I hope that's the case, because surely Drew has basically had all the revenge he needs. He must really love the idea of a bloody steel cage. Like Robert Stone likes brain surgery or something, because he got all his revenge and more against Jey Uso here. This was...
Thanksgiving tonight.
Oh.
Sorry, a bit of an NXT preview there for you.
Sorry.
I sent you into a different mind space, didn't it? Drew's had his... What the hell was this? This was bad matchmaking. Wasn't like... It was bad booking in the sense that I don't know why they've done it, and they've just delivered a clean finish on Jey Uso, and that's that, because the heel should win the advantage. But like Sir Jobber says, well, like, toss a coin. That would be absolutely fine. It's almost better if you've left it up to chance, and bloody hell, the heels have got
And
it
they can
again.
sponsor it. The Ruffles coin.
Yeah, toss a crisp. But this was a poor match. I didn't think these two had good chemistry at all. I thought for Drew's big coming out party as an official heel rather than all the stuff he's been teasing, this was nowhere near as creative. It's been far more interesting watching Drew wrestle, like just colouring outside the lines, whereas here he was just a bad guy,
just a bit methodical.
I'm kind of boring, but in that troubled way.
He doesn't have the presence.
Nah.
If you've either got the presence to do this, or you don't, and if you don't, it's just quite dry and methodical.
It really wasn't the time as well for this babyface version of Jey Uso to have his wings clipped a bit. I just wouldn't have.
The amount of
picked him.
singles matches he's lost, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it. This is me saying it. It will not matter.
No.
Probably not. Yeah. I didn't think this was like Sami Zayn's match to lose and not Jey Uso's for me. And this did not click at all. Like Jey Uso's super over and they're getting that, like, it's that LA Knight thing where the spots are pretty hot, but just a massive disappointment. And I don't know why they would take so much of the wind out of the Drew anger towards Jey by just booking this straight up one-on-one.
I don't think Jey Uso has a particularly glittering record of singles matches, and I think they went very too on the nose with he's a bad guy now is this Drew McIntyre. So it was they're just oil and water.
Long as well. Really boring.
20 minutes, yeah.
Aye, too long.
But yeah, it's going to be Randy showing up.
I'll get 3-3. Better than Punk Joe.
Oh, aye, 100%.
Interesting that they didn't have Randy show up, so they're having him be the surprise potentially at Survivor
It's like the
Series.
most distilled rubbish first dance imaginable. Where it's like you get these really overt teasers, they're not that fun, and then he just turns up days later.
Obviously, I don't want it to go crap, but if the Fed does go
That's
rubbish
another
again-
Orton reference.
What?
Go crap. Voices in the head, crap.
Like, imagine if it did, like, if just for whatever reason, like, creative just fell off again. It was like, Randy.
Oh, no.
You've done it. You've ruined it again. 20 more years of this. The wrestlers, they see the Hall of Fame thing. Love working the house shows with Randy. Put him in the Hall of Fame, Dave. Didn't get injured once. Took 3 bumps. That's why Randy's the best.
Yep.
The crowd were silent. What a night.
I will say we are evidently not the... But don't get jazzed about Randy Orton.
I've watched him.
I've watched him for too many years now. These fans in this building were going absolutely bananas.
Polish the turd. This is what I like. It's going to be so hot when he comes back.
Well, let us know your thoughts on Manarao, either in the comment section or on it at What Culture WWE. Watch there. You can follow all 3 of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow our brilliant editor at It's Adam Nicholas. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts, including our NXT preview coming later on today. I'm so excited. But for now, this has been the Raw review. My thanks to Michael Hamflett, to Michael Sidgwick, to our lovely editor, Adam Nicholas. Thank you for joining us. And thanks to Rich for the 5-star review as well. And we will see you soon.